Bills fans, what's up? And again, here's the top chat. I got to remove that so I can see everybody's chat. First day of I hate this, whatever, legal tampering, whatever. Their teams and agents are finally allowed to talk, iron out deals. They're not official to the new league year, but a slew of moves have already been made. Many, three, four involving the Bills. One I've been calling for since I can't remember. I was so happy they were able to secure this guy. What's up, Eric? I was so happy when I saw, I had gotten a little bit of wind that a center was coming down. I just didn't know if it was Paradis or Morse. And then I got a little wink. I was like, it's Morse. I know it's Morse. That was around, I guess, two-ish, but I didn't want to say shit because I didn't know shit. So it was a great feeling. Again, reserve judgment. So you see numbers. Morse has the biggest deal. What's up, Rick? How are you, bro? Eric. Gore, 1 year deal. Had me more thinking about McCoy than anything. McDermott likes leaders in the room. Do the Bills find a way to trade McCoy? Get Kroft for you. You mentioned him a couple of times, Eric. It's a 1 year deal, but it's three, but essentially a 1 year deal. And after that, they could, if it doesn't work out, they could release him for not. I think actually Mike Rodak just had the numbers of the deal. So not a lot of big money thrown around by the Bills today. Just in the Morse deal, which was a 4 year, $44 million deal, which was not bad. I mean, as long as you're building a line in front of your young quarterback, I was so excited to see that that's such an important position. The Eric Wood injury was so devastating to them last year, coupled with Incognito's retirement and pretty much losing his mind. The guys that tried to play in the stead with Bodine and Groy were just, they weren't even, Bodine was about as requisite as it got, but it was just not good. What's up, K Beats? How are you? How are you doing, bro? Great signing. Great signing. Take care, Rick. Have a good one, bro. Sorry I couldn't get on earlier. I had to help a friend with an issue, and I couldn't jump on earlier as I intended, but I wanted to get on here at least for the first day. I mean, the first signing of the day was Frank Gore. Everybody, like they do on this day, I'm guilty of it. It was like, what? But then I start thinking about it. I'm like, it's not like they can't cut Ivory. It's not like they can't move on from McCoy. And McCoy, I think, is still a tradable option. They can free up $6.5 million moving him. And McDermott has said over and over and over and over again, definitely, Rick, I'll be around, man. I'm free all day tomorrow, bro, just for you. He likes leaders in the room. What more can you say about Frank Gore? He's been in the league for a long time. I'm a little older than Frank Gore. He's older than you guys, but the guy loves football. He's a leader, has great football character, and that's something McDermott and Bean want, and they're not going to sacrifice it at all. They're not going to move off of that at all. That is something that they're going to do, that they're going to hold true to, and that they're going to bring in. The Morse signing gives me a little bit of an insight into what they like in an offensive lineman. He's a very mobile offensive lineman, great pass protector. He wasn't a center at school. Didn't know if he was going to be a guard. I think even some people saw him as a tackle, but his arms checked in at like 32 inches. So I didn't know if he was a tackle. Yeah, me too, man. I had to come on here tonight. I meant to come on at like 8, but I had to help a friend with an issue. And I was like, damn, but I still had to come on, and ends up being a center and a damn good one. He's had a little bit of injury issues. His age is definitely on point. 26 going on 27. It's one of the reservations I had about Paradis was he's 29 going on 30. He had a hip surgery coming off a broken leg. So But I rather take the younger guy. I don't care about Pro Football Focus's rankings. I still take the younger guy. And hell, I didn't even know Frank Gore averaged 4.7 yards a carry last year and 700, like almost 700 yards. I had no idea he did that. I don't think you overpaid it to protect your quarterback, man. I really don't. Given the hell that they went through at at center and offensive line as a whole, I don't feel like you overpay. You overpay to protect your quarterback. You need a veteran in there that's going to be able to stabilize that line, help these young guys, and it just lets me know that I think they're going to go offensive line at 9. I really think they're going to go offensive line at 9. Um, that's what I feel. The stupid money. I don't know if some of you guys follow me on Instagram. I thought to myself, all I could think to myself earlier today was, thank God John Gruden is not in charge of building my favorite football team's roster. When I saw the contract that Trent Brown got, I was just like, thank God. Like, and then not just the contract he got, they drafted 3 offensive tackles last year, one with their first pick in Colton Miller. They gave Donald Penn a contract extension. They just traded a guard, but then they go sign a tackle to huge money. It just makes no sense. I mean, I don't care. That's their issue, but thank God he's not in charge of building the Bills, and thank God. I had to go on that little rant. But the Morse signing to me was just, it's butter. I love it. Whatever they do now to me is tertiary. As long as they got a big piece for the offensive line free agency, I was happy. They got a few, little supplemental pieces. The Kroft deal could be big, could be a nice red zone guy. I think he's a lot more athletic than Scott Chandler was. Not quite as big, but still big, still tall, still can go up and get it. He could be a guy that could be a nice, third down red zone target for Allen. So we'll see how he does. I know he's coming off an injury, but his deal is essentially a 1-year deal, kind of like Spencer Long's, but it says 3. So I think it's kind of a play as you go deal. I mean, I'm not big on getting old receivers. I want guys who still have some years. I definitely think they're going to add a veteran wide receiver. I just don't know where they're going to go. I just think that the Gore signing to me frees them up to maybe move Shady. That's what I see it as. They can still cut Ivory and move Shady. You have Gore, and you bring in a couple of rookies. That's just me guessing. I don't know. Maybe they intend on using them both, and then next year they move on and just go completely young at the position. I have no idea. But they definitely need a veteran receiver. I just don't think. I saw the money that Humphreys got earlier. If they can get Terrell Williams for less than that, I'd be all for it. But we'll see. You never know. It only takes one team. You see what the Redskins did with Landon Collins. I was just, I was not a big fan of the player. I think he had one elite year. Raiders are getting ready to sign LaMarcus Joyner. It's kind of funny, a delicious irony that the Jets signed Anthony Barr today so we can watch Josh Allen jump over him twice a year. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to watch that. Yeah, Chris Ivory to me is a Jag. He's just a guy. Gore pretty much ushers him out, but he could be that veteran running back and that leader. Shady had his issues last year. They gave him the captaincy. He was late for a bus. He wasn't allowed to start a game because of that. So I don't know. I don't know. I heard the rumors about Trey Flowers earlier. I had to remind myself there's a lot of agents, a lot of media people trying to push teams with a lot of cap money. So the Bills, to me, today did not spend a lot of money. They did not spend a lot of money. They spent money on Morse, which is where they should have and needed to spend it. Outside of that, it was just kind of like little trimming. Hey, bro, What's up, bro? It's Mark with a K, but you're good, Christian. It's all good, man. And they don't need to. They don't need to get stupid. I don't want to see them get stupid. Bean said it. He doesn't want to get the team back in this position. He doesn't want to do that. And I don't blame him. You got to start working on contract extensions late next year for a guy like Matt Milano. And then the next year you got to worry about Trey White or Deion Dawkins, if you feel like you got to re-sign him. But Morse, to me, like I was saying earlier, lets me think that they really, I can almost lock in they're going to go offensive line with their first round draft pick. I think they're going to go offensive line with number 9, and if they trade back, I think they go offensive line anyway. But it had me again. I'll just go back to I love Jonah Williams. He's versatile. Morse is versatile. Spencer Long is versatile. So you see the guys that they bring in, the versatility, the ability to play multiple positions, the history with Daboll. Jonah Williams blocked for both a left-handed starting quarterback and a right-handed starting quarterback. By some, he has the ability to be a Pro Bowl guard, but he can play tackle. He has the size to play tackle. I hear Little's got all the talent in the world, but he's not a heady player. That's why you don't see him up there. Like he's supremely talented, but he picks and chooses when he plays. He doesn't play with enough intensity down in and down out. And in the NFL, you're going to get eaten alive not doing that, man. And I know Jonah constantly gets that one play against Cleveland Farrell thrown in his face from the national championship game. Nobody on Alabama had a good game that night. I'm not a fan of Randall Cobb. There was a couple of guys I looked at. The wide receiver, maybe I wait to see if somebody gets cut. Who knows? I wouldn't sit there and try to dip my hand in that pool so fast just yet. But look, guys, we're going to be seeing deals when we wake up in the morning. We're going to be seeing deals all day tomorrow into Wednesday, and then we'll see where it goes. But I'm just so happy that I can come on here the first day and talk about Mitch Morse being a Bill and not have to, what was I going to say about Frank Gore? Solid leader, veteran. I think he's the 4th all-time leading rusher. But once it's all said and done, after I got a chance to calm down, after my excitement over the Morse signing, I was like, man, maybe Shady might be out. Maybe Shady might be, maybe they send them to Philly for Nelson Aguilar. The money's comparable. It's a 1-year deal for both players left on their contract. We need a wide receiver. They need a running back. They just got Deshaun Jackson back. I don't see Metcalf at all. I think that's a very cute pick right now, but I wouldn't count on it. Dewey, I wouldn't count on it. And I'm not a fan personally. I like a few other guys ahead of him. I like Marquise Brown ahead of him. I like Hakeem Butler ahead of him. I like N'Keal Harry ahead of him. I don't like guys who just run straight. I'm not a fan of guys who just run straight. But I know you guys seem excited about the Morse signing. Tyler Kroft is an interesting guy. Size and speed, but you got to run routes. You just can't run goes all day long. And he's been nicked up a lot. He looks the part. He's a good kid. Fire Brandon Bean, Trace Wolf. Why are we firing him today? Because he gave a running back a 1-year deal. I don't want to get Jawan Taylor is possible. Jonah's possible. A guy that's coming up a lot. A lot of people really like Andre Dillard. Is a lot of people like him. A lot of people like him. I think he's going to get picked in the first round. I don't know where, but those two names right there to me right now are the front runners to be the first pick for the Bills is Jonah Williams and Jawan Taylor. Those are the two guys. If they trade back, maybe a Cody Ford, maybe a Dillard. We'll see. Greedy doesn't tackle, and that's an issue. The way they talk about Levi Wallace, they just picked up Kevin Johnson. I'm not quite sure, man. I'm not quite sure. I don't think they're going corner, their first overall pick. Maybe a pass rusher. I would really love, dude. I would. Whoo, I would really, really love. I want Hawkinson, but if you draft a lineman, Hawkinson's not going to be there for you at all. I love Greedy, don't get me wrong, but the guy doesn't tackle, and McDermott wants guys who tackle. Look at Taron Johnson. The guy is a little pit bull. Trey White, Hyde, Poyer, these guys tackle. He wants people who tackle people, and if you don't tackle people in the secondary, he doesn't want you. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of texts. I'll turn the phone down. I'm sorry, guys. I actually should look at them. Maybe I might have something to share with you. But yeah, Tyler Kroft's deal eventually says it's 6.3 guaranteed at signing. It says on the surface it's a 3-year, $18.75 million contract. It could just be a 1-year, $6.9 million deal. That's it. So the Bills basically get him on 1 year. I might do that, I might do that. They basically get him on a 1 year. Johnson's probably a 1 year vet minimum deal. I know he visited Cleveland, decided to sign in Buffalo. Gore, 1 year, nominal deal, and the big ticket item is Morse. So, I mean, Morse to me was the icing on the cake. I'm good with Morse the rest of the week, to be honest with you. So we know they're going to make other moves, and there's still some cuts to come. Bodine is pretty much gone now. After he heals up, I think he has to pass a physical and stuff, and then they can officially release him. They still have to take care of him while he's rehabbing, though. That's part of the CBA. Excuse me. Ivory, Vlad Dukas. That's almost $7 million that they can free up. So yeah, that was everything. The Morse signing was everything, and they probably drove up the price for whoever's going to sign Paradis now, and because I was shocked. I thought Morse was going to get more than he did. And when I just saw it was a 4-year, $11 million, I was just like, 4 years, $11 million per. I was ecstatic. I was like, nice. I like our Arcega-Whiteside a lot. Burns has grown on me a little bit. Dillard, but the Fire Bean stuff, come on, Trace, relax a little bit. That's crazy stuff. That's crazy stuff. I mean, you don't want to turn into the Bills of old and all these other organizations who are trashing people out a couple of years in. That's just not good, man. It's not the way you do things. It's just not the way you do things. You don't want to do that, man, at all. That's just bad for business. So hopefully this just spells the beginning of a really, really good offseason. I don't know. Corey's interesting. Corey's a Bills fan, but he has a blocked Twitter account with Tom Brady all over it. So I don't know about Corey. I'm curious. I have questions now. Yeah, Barkley. I really think that they're gonna take a wide receiver in this draft. I just think they're gonna go offensive line in the first round, and I want them to do that. You've got to protect this quarterback, man. You've got to protect this kid. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This kid needs protection, and you need to invest in that protection. The Bills haven't drafted an offensive lineman in the first round in 10 years. They haven't drafted an offensive tackle in the first round in 17 years. So, I mean, you got to invest in your line. They had like some crazy number where they ranked 31st in the NFL in dollars allocated to the offensive line, 31st in dollars allocated to the wide receivers. So, you've got to add talent to those areas, and they haven't yet, and they need to. Well, they added Morse today. That number went up. And if you add if your first round draft pick is an offensive lineman, which I believe it will be, a tackle, then that number goes up as well. Yeah, bro, you're an Eagles fan. Everybody's welcome here. I have a ton of friends who are Eagle fans, and Now he's good, bro. And they're retooling for another Super Bowl run, but we talk Bills in here though, bro. So just so you know, bro. Not only do we have to protect Allen, yeah, we see. I just watched the fact that he excelled with receivers like Foster. I'm saying excelled, but you saw him really start to scratch the surfaces of his ability with Foster and Zay Jones, a little bit of Isaiah McKenzie, nothing from Charles Clay, maybe a sprinkling of Jason Kroom, sans that one big fumble. Dillard's definitely the most fluid. I'll give you that. He's definitely the most smooth, but coming from that offense, you know, it's a very finesse offense. Doesn't put his hand in the dirt. I'm not a fan of signing either one of those guys, man. If I go out, maybe I sign another guard. I'm not a fan of the Darrell Williams signing. I'm just not, or Saffold. And that's just me. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Yeah, Dillard's definitely the most fluid guy and has the ability, but you just never seen him put his hand in the dirt that much and fire off the ball. That concerns me. That concerns me. And Burns is definitely an upfield pass rusher. My concern with Burns is his ability to hold up against the run, because once teams just kind of set and run at him, I'm going to be a little bit worried. But as far as a pass rusher goes, the guy has some great ability. He looked better than I thought he would. And when I saw him at the combine, his body looked better. He looked a little thicker than I thought he would be. I was like, okay. Because when I saw the numbers, like him weighing like in the 220s, I was kind of like, ooh, 220. I was like, holy shit. I was like, I don't want no defensive end at no 220. I'm sorry. Some of us remember Aaron Maben, and that guy blew himself up at the combine. And once he got he came back down to like the 230s, and he had to fight back up again. And he's not a naturally powerful guy. I love Hawkinson. I love Hawkinson. He'd be one of the guys I would say, okay, you can wait on a lineman for. That's how much I like him. If the Bills traded down and drafted him and got their lineman in the second, I'd be okay. And Daboll, what does he like? He likes tight ends. He likes tight ends. Loves the tight end position. They like to use the tight ends. It was killing them. They couldn't utilize the tight ends that much. But again, I just think number one priority, first and foremost, is solidify the offensive line, right to left, left to right, inside and out. And it's only not even day one's done. Not even day one. Not official, unofficial, official day. I hate this shit. Just make it official already, goddammit. Remember that whole Frank Gore thing, signing with the Eagles that never went down? That's what people talk about between official and unofficial, because he didn't want the deal. Then he ended up going to the Indianapolis Colts. Remember that? Burns or bust, fire bean. Nah, there's no. I thought it was Dillard or bust, fire bean. I'm just gonna joke with you back and forth, Trace Wolf, about that. But I'm glad to see most of you are on board with. Yeah, you could just. I'm not gonna hate on a pass rusher. If they go pass rusher in the first, I can't hate on it. If they go interior pass rusher, I can't hate on it. If they draft Ed Oliver, I don't think Burns is a top 10 pick. But when I saw, like, first of all, we don't know what Burns is yet. Let's be honest. And I just think that once I saw that he might weigh in the 220s, I was a little nervous. Yeah, I'm on same name, Vicious 155. Always Vicious 155 everywhere. Vicious 155 on Snap, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. I got nothing to hide. And I bitch and moan about sports just as much as anybody, but I'm a fan. I'm an unapologetic Bills fan. I'm not gonna lie. when I post stuff, I'm like, I'm a Bills fan. What do you want? You think I want to see the team suck? Not at all. I want to see the team do extremely well, and I want to see them draft well, and I want to see them sign the best players that they can. And the more signing, you guys know, I've who've watched a number of these, I've signed this guy. He'll be able to integrate right in because he was with Andy Reid his whole career. Where does Sean McDermott come? That Andy Reid tree. He's going to just seamlessly transition right in. He's going to know what to expect, know everything, and just be a leader on that offensive line. Be able to calm things down for Allen, call the protection, set the line, give Allen a little bit less responsibility and allow him to focus on reading defenses and breaking those down. Kroft is interesting. He could be a hitter. He could be a big hit guy, or he could be, just a 1-year miss guy. But nice, athletic, tall tight end who can go up and catch passes. Give you hopefully a hell of a lot. I don't think by accident, he could give you any less than Charles Clay did last year. And, that signing was never going to be palatable to people. But, the way he fell apart, it was tough to watch. And they had to run him out there every week. Bryce Love coming off an ACL, though, man. They need a young back who come in, play right away. They need a young back who can come in, play right away. I don't like any one of the backs you just named, Bart, except Snell. I like Snell. Elijah Holyfield. I'm not a fan of Wilkins. The kid Leatherwood from Alabama, the way he handled him in that game. I think Wilkins is a product of playing on a line with Farrell, with Bryant, with Lawrence. I think he's a good kid. He's not explosive enough to me. He's just not. I think he's a guy. You'll see like 2 sacks a year. I don't know how stout he is against the run. You're blocked on Twitter. Why are you blocked on Twitter? Did you harass me? If you harassed me, a reason I blocked you. Because there's some people, they won't stop messing with you, and it just gets annoying, and I'll just mute you or block you. It's not personal, but it's just I'm not going to have my timeline filled up with just crap. I mean, I'm not going to go back and forth with people. I'll do it for like 2 tweets, and then I'm done. I'm not a little kid. I'm not going to fight with people online. I'm just not going to do it. I won't do it here. I won't do it anywhere. Bryce Love is an amazing player, but to tear his ACL, I mean, I need a running back come and play right away. Maybe if he's available in the 5th or something, I would take him there. I would definitely take him there. Oh, here we go. Here's a visit. You guys want an official visit? I'm going to read you an official visit in the room. Per NFL Draft Insider, the Bills are bringing in Jace Sternberger in for an official visit. I would expect expect Buffalo to use a pick in the first 3 rounds on a tight end. So Jace Sternberger is being brought in by the Bills, a tight end from Texas A&M, for an official visit. We shall see. So tight end is very much on the board. And another thing about Love, he's talked a lot about being a doctor. He's talked a lot about going to medical school. And a back that reminds me of, crazy enough, is Robert Smith. Robert Smith was an amazing running back, had a great career with the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe some of you guys don't remember him, but he was vacillating the first few years of his career, whether he was a great back at Ohio State, whether he would go to medical school, play football. He played football for the Vikings a little bit, and he was injured a lot. Then he thought about playing football, quitting and going to medical school, and he played 1 more year and had a phenomenal year, went to the Pro Bowl, and he stuck with football. Yeah, Frank Gore, it's crazy to think that guy is still in the league. It really, really is. So we have our first official visits of the and they get 30 of these visits. Rarely do teams use 30 visits. They use about 28 of them. So, but this is the first one. So this is obviously a kid that they're interested in, that they want to see more of, and see what he knows about football. We'll see. Does he? Nah, he's a center. he's a center. You're not going to make he's a second round pick probably too, and you're not going to draft a center. Your premier free agent piece to this point is a center, and that would just behoove you. I got to see the kind of shit you talk to me first. I'll unblock you. I just want to see the kind of shit you taught to me first so I can fresh my memory. I've had a lot of people say a lot of shit to me on here, and it generally doesn't bother me. Make fun of my bangs and say stupid shit, and I don't know. I put my biggest thing is I put my face out there. I'm like, this is my face. You can see my face. You see my face here. You see my face on Instagram. You see my face on Twitter. I'm not a good looking guy. I'm not saying that, but when I say shit, and I'm going to say it. Like, you're going to see who says it. I'm not going to just talk shit behind a faceless fucking account and try to yap people, because that's weak. That's weak to me. At least put your face out there. Yeah, I thought it was too. I was thinking like, it's going to be like a $13-14 million deal. See, tomorrow I'm thinking we'll see Paradis sign for like $13 million. Yeah, so I want them to finally use tight ends in a proper way. I was so sick of them. Like, I could think of all the tight ends they've had over the years that were just guys. I think the most they ever got out of a guy that was just a guy that they brought in for a look was Scott Chandler. They just brought him in at the end of 10. He had gotten cut from the Chargers and the Cowboys. They brought him in for a look, and he ended up being one of the crazy that Scott Chandler had a better Bills career than Charles Clay. He did. He really did. Shame to say, but it's true. But what can you do? Sometimes things work and they don't work, and it depends on who's making the signings. It really does. It really depends on who's making the signings. Sometimes guys is being reckless with the cap and stuff. I don't want them to do that anymore. I want them to be smart, and that's one thing I'll give New England. I hate them with a passion. I'm never trading down. Yeah, but sometimes, let's be real, how many draft picks make your roster? 8, 9. The Bills drafted 9 players after all their trades last year. I think they went in with 11 or 12 picks, and they ended up making 9 picks. 8 of those guys made the roster. And I think they had, at the end of the year, they had a bunch of their undrafteds up. Robert Foster, Levi Wallace, the chief principal too. So I think that they have to, if they want to move around the board, this is what I was just getting back to New England. They always have a bunch of 2s to 5s. Like the other day, they give Philly a 5th for Michael Bennett. They just have a ton of those picks so they can move around. They're just chess pieces to them. And that's where I want the Bills to get to. Just have a bunch of those picks in the middle round, in the middle of the meat of the draft, in the sandwich. The bread is, the first and the set, and just kind of do this. They can do whatever they want. They could pay it forward to next year. They could swap a pick for a player. They could package a couple of picks and move up. Whatever. That's what I want to see them do. That's the versatility and the ability I want to see them eventually have in the draft. And they've got a lot of day 3 picks, which I like. Fuck the Patriots. I agree, but that's just one thing I like that they do. That's one thing I like that they do. I tried to show your message, but it fucking got deleted. You can curse in the room. I don't care. What's up, Chris? How are you, man? I appreciate you guys jumping on with me. I know it's a Monday. I know you guys probably have to get up. It's fun. I just had to get on here. I didn't know who was going to be on or who wasn't. So I had to just jump on and talk a little bit about the first day. Anything you guys want to talk about? Well, after this year, he's a free agent. Hughes is definitely still a productive player. People who want to trade Hughes this year, even, I think it's crazy. He's still your best pass rusher, and he had his best year last year, better year than the previous 3 years. So I know he's a little bit of an ass and he gets a little hot-headed sometimes, but he's an edgy player. He plays on the edge, and that's okay. So you got to give some to take some. So he's still their best pass rusher. My mindset, I just want to see them fix the rest of the offensive line. I need to see at least two more ads, good ads in that area. One of them be using their first overall pick on one, not the ninth at this point. But if they trade down, they trade down. We'll see what they do. Yeah, there's a lot of rumors, man. There's a lot of rumors. It didn't come to fruition. You can ask Eric. Thankfully, that night, somebody got back to me and said they were very skeptical about that deal. I doubt it was used. I doubt it was used at all. I really do. I doubt a lot of speculation about that story. Was there interest? Yes, there was interest. Would you be upset if the Bills just said, we don't care about, he's a very talented player. They inquired about the player. He wanted a lot of money. Pittsburgh wanted to swap firsts. They ended up getting Raiders have higher picks in the 3rd and 5th rounds than the Bills do, but I wasn't interested in going to 20. Would you want to go to 20? Would you want to go to 9 to 20? I don't want to do that. Hell no. Fuck that. You didn't talk shit, homie. I blocked you for no reason. I'm going to see when I go into the archive, dude. When I go into the archive, I'm going to see if you didn't pop lip. I'm talking about people in general. I'm not talking about you. I don't know what you said or didn't say. I'm just talking about I've had mad people talk shit to me, and I can't even remember it all. It's funny though. I laugh at a lot of it. I'll like see it by accident. Like, oh, look at all these replies, and all of a sudden somebody's blasting me about something. I'm not popular or anything. I see some of the comments like the beat writers get and stuff. It's pretty rough, man. Those guys, nah, none. He's a weird guy. He's like doing rap videos now. Says a lot of weird shit online. I think he's kind of a one-trick pony. I'm just. He's okay. I'm okay, Lince. I'm not the best. Sometimes I talk a lot of shit, but I'm a Bills fan. What do you want? I have to talk shit. Oh, it's Vicious 155. Same as here. It's same as here. Oh, I'm definitely satisfied, Mike. The Morse signing. If you care to, if you're not too bored, if you have a ton of time on your hands, and I don't put you to sleep, I was asking for Morse. That was the guy. Sign this guy, and everything else is secondary, tertiary. I'm good. Now go fix the rest of the offensive line. Me, it's not sexy. I'm not Mr. fucking fantasy football. Like, I'm not like draft wide receivers and running back guy. I'm not that guy. I'm draft lineman, and have your quarterback and draft lineman. Have your quarterback, draft lineman. Everything else just falls into place after that. I mean, look at Atlanta. They have all the sexy trimmings. They're just not tough up front, or they're not tough in the middle on defense. They don't win. The Colts, they had the quarterback, but for all those years, they weren't tough up front or tough up the middle on defense. Last year, what they do? They draft Nelson, they draft Brennan Smith, they get a little tougher on defense, and you saw what they did to the Bills. Shit, that was tough. That was tough to watch. I don't think they're required to do anything they don't want to do. I think that a guy like Brown is he's kind of a head case, dude. I don't know. The guy just seemed to lose his mind. If you see some of his Instagram stuff and his live vids, it's like, what happened to this guy? He's dyeing his beard. He's doing all kinds of crazy shit and saying all kinds of acting weird. I'm not interested in that sideshow, man. I'm really not. No, I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. is in play for the Bills at all. The amount of dead money the New York Giants have to absorb to move him, it's like $30 million. It's like 30. No way. There's just no chance in hell. that the New York Giants and Dave Gettleman's pretty much tells you what's going to happen. He's like, we didn't sign him to trade him. I don't see him being moved, at least this year. Maybe next year he gets moved, but I'm not interested in this guy. I'm here in North New Jersey. Hacks. I've never seen a fan base want to move on from a young, talented player more than Odell Beckham Jr. To a man, Giants fans do not want him on the team. And we want him on the Bills. No thanks, bro. He's a petulant little baby. I'm not interested in that. A guy who makes $100 million, no thanks. Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate you saying that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Beckham Funches signed with the Colts today for a year. Yeah, he got a year. Well, you can't argue with the guy. I really appreciate that again, Chris. He signed. You can't blame him. He's going to play with Andrew Luck. I don't really hate. I don't hate Gailey or Knicks. I didn't really hate them. I felt bad for them because I feel like they were kind of past their prime and old, and they were the only guys to take the job, so they were kind of like stuck. I disliked Dick Duran a lot. Rex, I was like, I hated Russ Brandon. So glad he's fired. So glad he was fired. That was one of the best tweet notifications I ever got in my life. Is the Bills have or moved on, PSE or whatever it is. Pagula Sports Entertainment has moved on from Russ Brandon. That was one of the best things ever. Yeah, Nkeel's a good receiver. Again, I like him. I like Butler. I like Marquise Brown over Metcalf. I like TJ Hawkinson over Metcalf. They need to keep upgrading the line, man. That line is not done by any means. They need tackle. They need another guard. I think you need another depth player. Just they need receivers. Don't get me wrong. I just think I don't know. I just get the vibe that Allen can work with a lot of different kind of receivers. He just needs more talent. A quarterback makes an A receiver. An A receiver doesn't make a quarterback, bro. That's my thing. To me, that's a fantasy football mindset. Quarterbacks make receivers A receivers. A great quarterback, a true quarterback makes players better. Like he'll turn a good receiver into a great receiver, above average receiver, into a Pro Bowl receiver, and a great receiver into a Hall of Famer. To me, that's just the way it works. Is like quarterbacks elevate the play of receivers. Yeah, I don't let it depress me, man. There's a lot of just sad people out there, Mike, and there's just people that are doom and gloom. Everything is going to suck. The Bills are forever going to fail. Football Siberia, small market, inferiority complex. I mean, again, I'm here in the so-called biggest market in the United States outside of Los Angeles, in North New Jersey, New York, right? I could put you guys live on my phone right now and walk outside and show you fucking the whole skyline of New York right from this block. That's not the point. Football fans are here, and football media here is miserable too. Trust me. They're miserable. They think their team sucks. Everything they do sucks. Doom and gloom. Oh my God. Trust me. I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. I go to the gym with guys that are fans of the teams here, and it's the same thing. Their offensive line sucks. They need receivers. Get rid of Odell Beckham. I hear it all. So, yeah, I just don't. It's not Buffalo. Like, again, this is a big market. Odell Beckham Jr. don't want to be here. So what is a big market? Where does he want to be? I don't know. The guy's a weirdo. I don't know, Barkley. I think Shady might be the guy. I really do, because you could just move on from Ivory. But for me, you free up 6.5 million, moving on from Shady. You bring in a younger player, and you have your veteran leader in Gore, a Hall of Fame running back, still in the room. I think that's an interesting move. But if they keep Shady, they keep Shady. I'm just gonna let it ride out and see what they do. It's only the first day, and with that being said, yeah, he wants to be wherever he wants to be. I don't care. I just don't want him in Buffalo. I wouldn't want him in Buffalo. Let's just say Buffalo was on the beach. I wouldn't want him there. If I was in LA, I wouldn't want him there. I just He's a guy who would rather win, or he would rather lose and have 175 yards receiving, a touchdown or two, 8 to 11 catches, and be like, "Well, I did my thing." That's just, yeah. He's a petulant little bitch. I just can't. He's just, I cannot stand players like this. I have no interest in players like this. Who would I prefer? I have three guys. Three guys. Jonah Williams. Jawan Taylor is my like 1A. Then that, I guess this is four. Hawkinson, Ed Oliver. What DB did the Bill? Oh, Gilmore. And that's another thing too. OBJ is not a baller. When DBs get tough with him, he don't want no part of it. Remember the shit that happened with Josh Norman? I know we're talking about Odell Beckham Jr. for a lot of, for whatever, but when Josh Norman was tough with him, he was taking cheap shots, waiting till his back was turned. Bitch made shit. And then when they started fighting, they both get tossed. It was embarrassing. I don't want players like this. I don't. I remember when Aaron Williams was having his fit when New England was blowing the Bills out back in week 2 of 15, and he was just acting like a little fucking kid. He got 2 personal foul penalties. He was just losing his mind on the sideline. I forget which coach was trying to calm him down. I think it was forget the DB coach's name at the time, but he was trying to calm him down. It was just embarrassing. I was like, this guy's not, I don't like players like this. I really don't. I don't like players who do crazy shit with their hair for some reason. I just think that's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know why I went off on that tangent. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, Rex Ryan. It was another position coach that was trying to calm him down, and you could see it through the TV. He was mouthing like he didn't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And meanwhile, the scoreboard was already like 37 to like 10, some embarrassing score. And I was just like, I don't know why at that point. I was like, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. He wants to make it about himself, bitch and moan. I don't like guys like this, man. I don't. You don't win with guys like this. Randy Moss never won a Super Bowl. Terrell Owens never won a Super Bowl, even though Terrell came close and he deserved to win because he played with a half broken leg. And yeah, like that. I think great quarterbacks make receivers. Like, you get a good quarterback, you can make the receivers. And if Josh Allen hopefully is and turns into the quarterback we want, you'll see receivers that Buffalo has, other teams will want because of the numbers they'll compile together. And that's what I want to see. Yeah, Kevin Johnson, that's one thing I'll give McDermott. He knows defensive backs. You can't argue with any, like, okay, Vontae Davis notwithstanding, but to totally change your whole secondary from 16 into 17, get rid of Darby, both safeties, Gilmore and Roby. And then you have, I think it was Leonard Johnson, all the way to Taron Johnson, to Trey White, Levi Wallace, EJ Gaines, Poyer, Hyde, Raphael Bush, all these guys. His ability to find secondary players has been really good. Really, really good. So if he feels like this guy, former first-round pick, his DB coach, John Butler is on the staff now, can play, and if he's healthy, he has his head on, he can contribute. I'm all for it. It's probably only a 1-year deal. It's probably a 1-year vet minimum deal. I don't understand why people bitch about these deals. 1 year, vet minimum, nothing to complain about. I think that's a fine deal. Buy low, aim high, hopefully you hit. And if you miss, you miss. Hey, dude, you got to develop players. You got to develop players. You can't. What do you think Levi Wallace was doing on the practice squad all year? You think he was just jerking off? Like he was getting reps, getting acclimated, getting better. So when he came in, he started, he played. I didn't notice him. I don't remember him getting burned. Do you? A guy who was an undrafted free agent who came off your practice squad and started like what, 6, 7 games? McDermott doesn't have any say in that. Any? Of course he does. Robert Foster, same thing. Guy got cut, came back. What was he doing that whole time? He wasn't just diddy bopping around One Bills Drive. He was developing. He was getting his confidence up, reestablishing himself. Not much, bro. Just here talking shit about the Bills. Everybody needs to develop, man. It's like your job. All of you guys, me. Were you the best at your job the first day you took it? You could have went to school for it. Your dad or somebody or a relative could have taught you that trade or that skill or whatever. But the first time you were officially paid, gainfully employed to do that job, were you the best at it? No, it took time. Football's no different. Of course you were. Bullshit, you weren't. Bullshit. Nobody is. Nobody is. It takes time, man. It takes time, especially, Matt Milano, perfect example. He's another guy who just look how much better Shaq Lawson has got under this coaching staff. A guy we all thought was dead in the water, cut, traded, gone. He's gotten so much better. Now, okay, they need offensive talent now. They need offensive talent. Let's just now they definitely, now he's not the pass rusher nobody thought he would be. And you know what? He's just not an explosive enough guy. He's just not explosive enough. They need that. And hopefully maybe Trent Murphy's healthy this year and he could provide a little bit more pass rush. He had 4 sacks. He was injured a lot. I think he tried pushing it coming off that ACL a little too much. And I kind of think that they're going to hopefully get a better return from him than they got last year. So hopefully, with that being said, we'll see where they go tomorrow. I mean, shit, I don't know. Are you guys going to get much sleep tonight, or are you going to constantly be checking your phones for signings or something like that? I know I'm probably going to be, because I'm a nerd. I'm a geek for this stuff. Extend him now. I mean, I think Shaq's a solid player. I think he's a solid player. I just don't think he's he's what they thought they were getting. And granted, it was Rex's draft pick. That was Rex's guy. And the kid's been okay. He's been decent. So we'll see where it goes. In Tony Soprano land, where's the best pizza? The best pizza nearest me is a place called Rizzo's Bakery. That's the best pizza near me. It's probably 2 blocks that way across from Pershing Field Park. In my opinion, that's the best pizza. Some people say it's Benny Tudino's in Hoboken, because I like thinner crust than what they have. They're kind of like a lot of cheese, a lot of toppings. I'm more thin crust, margarita style. Every pizza, different strokes for different folks. Everybody likes different styles. All right, guys, I've been on here for 55 minutes. I'm going to jump off. Thank you all so much, even you, Trace. I'm going to look up your handle again. Type it in the damn window so I can see it again, please, so I can unblock you. Yeah, it's a brick oven. They have a brick oven. So we'll see where it goes. Thanks all of you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a good night, believers. I'm sorry if I missed any of you. Eric, as always. Trace, Greg. I'm sorry I didn't see you before. It's random. I'm just trying to name names. All the names. Christopher, great comment. Chris Beckham, he's in here a lot. Thank you, all you guys. Mike. So have a good one, guys. Hopefully we'll see something interesting. I'll probably take a break tomorrow. Even if something happens, I don't want to just come at you every day with chats and be like, make you guys bored of me. I know you probably already bored of me already after tonight, but if something good happens, when everything comes official Wednesday, I'll jump on for probably half hour. How about that? All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. Go Bills. Have a great rest of the week.